Now, the second point in the above excerpt from Brother Jabril Muhammad's book, we learn that it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's understanding of the biblical prophecies that gave rise to the thought that Master Fard Muhammad might be the one prophesied to appear in the last days. Again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's name at that time was Elijah Poole, and his father was a preacher of Christianity. So even as a so-called Christian, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not looking for a formless spirit to appear, some Holy Ghost floating somewhere, as most Christians believe today and even at that time. So as a Christian, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad understood the biblical prophecies better than most Christians. What does this mean? It means that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a better representative of the truth of Christianity than those who preached it in the 1930s, as well as those who preach it today. Now, the prophecies of the coming of God do not point us to a formless spirit, Mr. Preacher. Let us consider several of these prophecies, beginning with the book of Habakkuk. It states, God came from Teman, a physical place, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, also a physical place. Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, which is taking place now. And the everlasting mountains were scattered, and the perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. Selah. Now, what do these verses mean? We face the challenge of correlating the symbolisms in these verses with the fulfillment of this prophecy taking place in the last days. Master Fard Muhammad taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the meaning of the symbolic narratives of the prophets in the Bible. And you can find many of these explanations in his momentous and monumental book, Message to the Black Man in America. A book that the devils have that will spew lies as if they never read it. But you can avail yourself to this knowledge. Now, overall, these verses from Habakkuk confirm the coming of God in his work to save his people through his anointed, which is the Messiah.